Every Sunday, without fail, they are in the kitchen. Not because someone asked them to, because Sunday is when the system runs. The containers come out, the food gets prepared, the week gets organized before it has the opportunity to become chaotic. By Monday, the decisions are already made. Most people find this impressive and slightly exhausting to observe. The planning, the containers, the deliberate investment of weekend time into a task most people handle spontaneously and impulsively. But the psychology behind people who meal prep every week is more layered than discipline or organization. It reveals something specific about how they relate to decisions, control, and their own future self. To understand it, you have to start with one of the most practical findings in behavioral science: the psychology of pre-meal planning. Research by Brunstrom at the University of Bristol found that human beings are remarkably good at planning what they will eat in advance, and that this advanced planning is not incidental. It is one of the primary mechanisms through which dietary control is actually exercised. The prevailing assumption in nutrition science was that what you eat is governed by what happens during and after the meal: satiety signals, fullness, the experience of eating. But Brunstrom's research found that the locus of control is located earlier than that. It is in the decision made before the meal begins. And meal prepping takes that decision further back still, to Sunday, to a moment of clarity, energy, and intention before the week's demands have had any opportunity to compromise the quality of the choice. This is not simply planning. It is strategic self-management. The meal prepper is making decisions for their future self at the optimal moment, when they have time, energy, and resources. Before the Wednesday evening, when they have none of those things. Research on decision fatigue, the documented depletion of self-regulatory capacity across the day as decisions are made, explains why this matters practically. Every decision drawn from that resource leaves less available for the next. The person who has not meal prepped arrives home on Wednesday evening with depleted decision-making capacity and an open kitchen. The decision of what to eat is made with the worst version of their judgment. The result is often the convenient option rather than the intended one. The person who meal prepped arrives home and does not make a decision. The decision was already made by a better version of themselves on a Sunday when the resources were available to make it well. This is one of the most elegant examples of what behavioral scientists call implementation intentions, pre-planning behavior in sufficient detail that when the relevant situation arrives, the response is automatic rather than deliberate. Research on implementation intentions consistently finds they significantly increase the likelihood of health behavior completion. Not because the person becomes more disciplined in the moment, but because the moment no longer requires discipline. The behavior is already determined. The meal prepper has built a system that removes the moment of decision entirely. There is no deciding what to eat on Wednesday evening. There is only opening the container. The discipline was front-loaded to Sunday. Now here's the personality dimension that the research reveals clearly. Because the tendency to meal prep is not randomly distributed across the population, it clusters with specific personality characteristics. Research consistently found that higher conscientiousness is associated with better dietary behavior, greater fruit and vegetable consumption, less meal skipping, and more deliberate food choices. Conscientiousness, in this context, is not simply about being organized. It is about having a stable and active orientation toward future goals. The conscientious person can hold the future version of themselves as a vivid, motivational reference point. The meal prepped container in the fridge is not just food. It is a concrete expression of care for a future self who will be tired, time poor, and grateful for the decision made in advance. That orientation toward the future self is one of the most psychologically sophisticated capacities a person can develop, and it shows up consistently in the research as one of the strongest predictors of long-term health behavior success. Research on healthy eating habits found that self-control was one of the strongest determinants of healthy eating. alongside health-conscious identity. The meal prepper has developed both. They identify as someone who takes their nutrition seriously, and they have built a system that makes that identity easy to express consistently. But here is the identity dimension that is worth examining more carefully. Because meal prepping every week is not only a practical behavior, it is an identity statement made every Sunday. Research on health-conscious self-identity and food purchase found that consumers who identify themselves as health-conscious individuals show stronger intentions to make healthy choices because the behavior aligns with their self-perception. The meal prepper is not making healthy food choices because they are disciplined every time a food decision arrives. They are making healthy food choices because they are the kind of person who takes care of their nutrition. The identity precedes the behavior. The behavior expresses the identity. And the Sunday prep ritual is the weekly renewal of that identity. The moment where the abstract value of taking care of themselves becomes concrete, physical, and organized in a set of containers that will govern the week. Every Sunday session is a vote for the identity, a small, consistent, practical confirmation that this is who they are. And that confirmation, accumulated across weeks and months, produces an identity that is stable enough to govern behavior even when motivation is low. Now, here is what the meal prep behavior reveals about how this person relates to control more broadly. Because the kitchen on Sunday is not the only place this psychology shows up, people who meal prep every week tend to share a recognizable pattern across domains. They plan their finances in advance. They organize their schedules before the week begins. They make their most important decisions in moments of clarity rather than in moments of pressure. This is not obsessive control. It is a sophisticated understanding of how their own psychological resources are distributed across time and context. They know that they make better decisions when they have time, energy, and space than when they do not. And they have built their systems around that knowledge. The meal prep is one system, but the underlying psychology is the same one that organizes their calendar on Sunday evening, automates their savings before the paycheck is available to spend, and completes difficult tasks in the morning before the day depletes the capacity to handle them. Research on self-control and food choices found that self-control in the food domain is significantly correlated with self-regulatory success in other domains. The person who has built strong food self-regulation tends to have built strong self-regulation more broadly. The meal prep is not isolated. It is the visible expression of a broader psychological orientation toward proactive self-management that operates across multiple domains simultaneously. There is also a social dimension worth examining, because meal prepping is not a socially neutral behavior. In a culture of spontaneous eating, food is social activity, and the flexible consumption patterns that most people consider normal, meal prepping marks the person as someone who has made a specific and visible choice about how they relate to food. People around the meal prepper notice the office microwave at lunch, the containers at a communal table, the decline of the spontaneous restaurant suggestion because there is already food ready at home. These are not dramatic, but they are consistent. And consistency in social contexts communicates something about the person's relationship with their own priorities that spontaneous observers register even when they do not consciously articulate it. The meal prepper has, through their behavior, communicated that their nutritional goals are more important than the convenience or social frictionlessness of eating spontaneously. That is a statement about priorities that most people, in the actual texture of their food choices, never quite make clearly. Now, here is the honest layer that most meal prep content never addresses. Because meal prepping every week carries its own specific psychological costs that are worth naming clearly. The rigidity that makes the system effective also makes the system inflexible. The person who has prepped for the week has, in some sense, pre-committed to a nutritional plan that the week itself may not fully accommodate. The spontaneous dinner invitation, the different schedule, the food mood that is genuinely different from the planned containers. These require either flexibility or friction, and the meal prepper often experiences those moments with more internal resistance than the unprepared person does. Research on self-control in eating found that highly restrained eaters, people who exercise significant conscious control over their food choices, can experience greater distress when control is disrupted than lower restraint eaters. The control that produces consistency can also produce rigidity when the system cannot be maintained. The most psychologically flexible meal preppers have learned to hold the system lightly, to use it as a support structure rather than an iron rule, to take the social invitation and the unexpected dinner without treating the disruption as a failure of the system. That flexibility, maintained alongside the consistency of the Sunday prep, is the mark of a person using the system rather than serving it. There is also something worth naming about what the Sunday prep ritual does beyond the food. Because for many meal preppers, the session is not only a practical exercise, it is a weekly act of self-care. The hour or two spent in the kitchen preparing food for the coming week is an investment in a future self that is specific, practical, and tangible. The containers in the fridge are not only nutrition, they are proof that the person took care of themselves. That quality of enacted self-care, the care expressed through concrete action rather than through feeling or intention, tends to produce a different and more durable relationship with one's own well-being than care expressed only through aspiration. The person who meal preps has done something real. They can see it, they can count the containers, they can open the fridge and know that Wednesday evening is handled. The care is not abstract. It is there. Now, here is what that practical self-care accumulates into over time. Because the meal prep is not only about nutrition, it is about the kind of person who emerges from the practice of consistently taking care of themselves before the week requires it. Research on health behavior and self-efficacy found that consistent success in health behaviors strengthens the belief in one's own capacity to maintain those behaviors. Each meal prepped week deposits into a record of self-care that reinforces the identity of someone who follows through. The person who has meal prepped every week for 2 years has 2 years of evidence that they are the kind of person who follows through on their health commitments. That evidence, accumulated in the body and in the visible routine, changes how they relate to health challenges across every domain. They are not someone trying to be healthy. They are someone who is healthy. The behavior is not aspirational. It is descriptive. And that transition from aspiring to being is the most important psychological shift that any sustained health behavior produces. The meal prep is where it becomes visible each week, on Sunday, before anyone is watching, before the week has made any demands. In the kitchen, with the containers, taking care of the person they will be on Wednesday. That is not a small thing. In a culture that makes impulsive, convenient, nutritionally poor food choices the path of least resistance, the person who removes that path entirely, who makes the healthy option the ready option, is doing something that takes more psychological sophistication than most people recognize. They are not fighting themselves every mealtime. They are not relying on willpower at 6 in the evening when willpower is the resource they have the least of. They are using the system they built on Sunday to make the healthy choice the only choice available. That is smart. Not in an impressive, abstract sense. In the practical, reproducible, week after week sense that actually produces the physical and psychological outcomes that health goals are supposed to produce. The containers in the fridge are the evidence of a person who understood something most people never fully apply. That the decision is the leverage point, and the best time to make the decision is before the situation arises that would make the wrong decision feel justified. Sunday is that time. The kitchen is the place. The containers are the result. And the result, opened on Wednesday evening, is the proof that the decision made 4 days ago was the right one. Not because it was the most exciting food choice, but because it was there. Ready, already decided, already purchased, already cooked, requiring nothing from Wednesday evening's depleted version of the person except the willingness to eat what was already prepared. That readiness is not laziness. That readiness is the output of the most sophisticated form of self-management available to someone who takes their nutrition seriously and also has a real life that competes with every intention they form. The meal prepper has made peace with that competition, not by winning it every day, by making the outcome of the competition irrelevant to the nutrition, because the nutrition was already handled before the competition began. That is the whole psychology, reduced to its simplest form. Decide when you can decide well. Execute when you can execute well. And let the system carry you through the moments when neither is available. If this made you think about what your Sunday could be doing for your Wednesday, subscribe and hit the bell for more psychology that goes deeper than the meal.